Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're zooming in on a really interesting destination for global education, Italy.
That's right.
Now, most people probably think history, art, maybe fashion, but we're looking at its universities. Italy's actually offering this, well, unique pathway. High-value, world-class schools like Milan, Padua, Politecnico di Torino, mixed with, all that incredible culture and design heritage.
And that mix, that's exactly what makes applying kind of tricky sometimes.
Yeah.
The idea of studying there is amazing, but the reality of applications, visas, picking the right program, especially one taught in English, it gets confusing fast.
Right.
So our sources today really focus on the solution people turn to. Study consultants. We're digging into how they supposedly turn that confusion into clarity, as one source puts it.
Yeah, turning ambition into results. So our goal here is to give you kind of shortcut through all this information. We'll pull out the key stuff, the why Italy is so attractive now, especially cost and quality-wise.
How the consultants process, often this 5-step model we found.
And crucially, how you can manage that relationship effectively, making sure you're in the driver's seat, basically, getting that global degree without getting lost in the paperwork. Okay, let's dive into the big question first. Why Italy? I mean, why is it suddenly popping up as a serious competitor to the US, the UK, maybe even Australia?
Well, what's really captivating, I think, is how its history and its future kind of collide. You're not just sitting in a classroom.
Right.
You're literally surrounded by centuries of art, science, design. One source said you're taking it all in. That immersion is part of the deal. Like Politecnico di Torino, it's not just engineering. It's plugged right into Italy's car industry history, its aerospace sector.
That makes a lot of sense. It's the whole environment adding prestige. And if we look at specific subjects, Italy's really punching above its weight in some areas, yeah.
Absolutely. The sources kept pointing to Italy's strengths, where that national heritage really shines. So design, architecture, and very specific engineering fields like automotive engineering, especially around Milan and Turin. But it's not only creative stuff. You've got places like Bocconi, University of Padua. They're global players in economics and business, and importantly, often taught completely in English.
Just to put a number on that, I saw Italy is ranked, 7th globally for programs in design, arts, and architecture. That's pretty serious academic clout.
It really is. But look, the quality is just one side of the coin.
Yeah.
The absolute biggest factor, the thing almost every international student mentions, is the cost, the financial side.
And this is where it gets really, really interesting compared to the US or UK, right? Where tuition can be astronomical.
The difference is, well, it's almost revolutionary for a lot of students. Public university fees in Italy, they're incredibly low.
Yeah.
The data we looked at shows typical annual tuition between like 1,000, 3,000 euros a year. Maybe sometimes up to 4,000, but still.
Wow.
Yeah. Compare that to, I don't know, $30,000 plus
Yeah.
easily for an international student in the U.S. per year. Getting a top-tier degree for under $3,000, it completely changes the whole ROI calculation.
And on top of that low base cost, there are scholarships. The sources mention they're quite common.
Abundant even. And these aren't just token amounts. We're talking substantial aid. University grants for good grades, regional government funding, sometimes need-based. They can cover tuition completely, maybe even give you money for living costs.
So they're actively trying to attract talent.
Exactly, making it possible even if you don't have deep pockets.
Okay, what about living costs, though? People hear Italy and maybe think Rome, Milan, expensive cities. Is that the reality for students?
That's a really important distinction the sources make. Yes, Milan is pricey. It's a global hub after all.
Sure.
But cities like Padua or Turin, they're described as much more student-friendly, much more affordable. Good student housing options, decent public transport. It keeps the overall budget way down compared to, say, London or New York. You just need to choose your city wisely.
Got it. And before we move on, we have to bust that language myth, the idea that you absolutely must speak fluent Italian.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is probably the single biggest blocker for people. The truth is, especially for master's degrees, you often don't need Italian.
Really?
Yeah. Italian universities have globalized. Most graduate programs aiming for international students, so engineering, management, business, even lots of science fields, they're offered entirely in English.
Yeah.
You might learn Italian living there, which is great, but it's usually not an entry requirement.
That just blows the doors wide open, doesn't it? Explains that number we saw over 56,000 international students heading to Italy in 2024. It's that combo, low cost, high quality, and English programs. It's clearly a winning formula right now. Okay, so if it's such great quality and so affordable, why doesn't everyone just, apply them? So this must be where that complexity comes in, the bureaucracy.
Exactly. That's the catch. Verifying your previous degrees, navigating the consulate's timelines, getting every single document exactly right for Italian standards. It's genuinely complex. So the consultant's job, fundamentally, is to carve out a clear path for you, tailored to your grades, your budget, your actual career goals. They're like a human project manager for your application. Make sure you don't miss anything critical.
Let's break down that process. The sources, like the LetzStudy model, seem to follow a pretty structured five-step approach. Step one is all about understanding the student, right?
This one. The profile look, exactly. And it's deeper than just looking at grades. It's a full assessment, education history, sure, but also any work you've done and really digging into your long-term goals. Why do you want this degree? That helps narrow down thousands of options to a realistic, targeted list, maybe focused on hubs like Milan, Padua, or Turin.
Okay, that makes sense. Which then flows into step two, course selection. They mention using AI tools here. How does that work alongside human expertise?
It's a blend. The AI part can quickly sift through programs based on hard data prerequisites, rankings, specific course modules, filter things fast. But then the human expert steps in for the crucial bit, the return on investment. They're looking beyond the rankings to ask which program actually gives this student the best career launchpad, considering the low cost. It's about maximizing that value proposition.
Then comes step three, the paperwork. This sounds like the real administrative minefield, where people applying alone often get stuck. What do consultants do here?
Precision. It's all about precision. Italian universities, and especially the visa offices later, have very specific formatting rules. Your statement of purpose, your recommendation letters, transcripts, CV. Everything needs to be perfect, correctly translated, maybe notarized, sometimes needing an apostille.
Okay.
One small mistake on a transcript. It could delay everything, maybe even get your application rejected or stall your visa. They ensure it's all compliant before submission.
Which leads right into the make or break part. Step four, visa processing. This is where all the effort pays off or doesn't.
Yeah, high stakes. Here, they help with things like verifying your financial proof, making sure your bank statements meet the embassy's specific requirements. They help schedule the embassy appointments, and, really importantly, they run practice visa interviews.
Oh, practice interviews.
Yes, because that interview, while often short, can be nerve-wracking. Confidence matters. The sources suggest guided applications have a much higher success rate. One agency quoted an internal 92% success rate. Those few failures, often down to paperwork errors missed earlier or fumbling the interview. Preparation helps avoid that.
Makes sense. And then the final step, step five, pre-departure advice. So they don't just get you the acceptance and visa, they help you land.
Exactly. It's about softening the landing, dealing with culture shock, practical stuff, packing lists, yes, but also orientation on Italian culture, help finding housing before you arrive, maybe arranging an airport pickup. Just support for those first crucial weeks.
Let's make this concrete. We saw some student stories. Arjun's experience in Padua really struck me, tackling the money issue head on.
Arjun's a great case study for that financial aspect. His grades weren't top tier, funds were limited. But the consultant knew the system. They managed to get him not just admission, but also help finding a scholarship and a tuition fee waiver. That kind of targeted financial navigation, it probably wouldn't have happened otherwise. Made the whole thing possible for him.
And Ria in Milan, her story shows how much the application documents matter, specifically the SOP.
Right. Ria got accepted quickly because her statement of purpose was really sharp, tailored to what Italian admissions look for. It articulated her goals clearly, used the right format. Basically, it sped up a process that can sometimes take months, using the paperwork strategically.
And Ahmed Khan's story proves the consultant fee can actually be an investment, right?
Definitely. He got guidance that led him to 2 different scholarship options. Net result, he saved $3,200 a year. When tuition is already low, saving that much annually means the consultancy fee basically paid for itself, potentially several times over, just through the financial advice.
Okay, that financial help and managing all the logistics, it definitely sounds valuable. But working with any agency has potential downsides. And if tuition is cheap, does adding a hefty consultant fee maybe make it unaffordable again for some?
That's the balancing act, isn't it? You have to see the fee as buying efficiency, reducing risk, increasing success odds. But only if you manage that relationship properly. The sources actually spent a lot of time warning about potential problems. 6 common issues kept coming up.
Okay, let's run through those risks. These are practical warnings for anyone listening. First one is about transparency, or the lack of it.
Yes. Problem 1, lack of openness. Agencies that aren't upfront about the total cost,
Sure.
hitting you with hidden fees later. Problem 2, bad communication. Slow replies, being hard to reach. That's really risky with tight deadlines. The fix. Some agencies offer a dedicated counselor, which helps.
Hmm. And the third risk sounds like it could really compromise your education. Consultants pushing schools where they get bigger commissions, not necessarily the best fit for you.
That's a huge ethical red flag. You need to watch out for that.
Yeah.
Then, fourth, weak post-admission support. They get you the acceptance letter, then vanish when you need help with the visa or finding a place to live, which is arguably the hardest part.
Right, the job's not done yet. Number 5 goes back to that paperwork step. Missing paperwork or making mistakes that delay things at the consulate, which already takes, what, 4 to 8 weeks?
Easily.
Okay.
And finally, the biggest warning sign, false promises, like guaranteeing admission. No reputable consultant can guarantee admission.
Yeah.
They should give you an honest assessment based on your profile.
So how do you avoid these traps? The sources mentioned shifting your mindset, right, from just hiring someone to partnering with them.
Exactly. Dr. Elisa Romano from the University of Milan was quoted on this. She said, the students who navigate this best treat their consultant like a strategic partner, not just someone they pay to do a service. It's about being an active participant, not passive.
That feels like a really important shift. So what are the most practical things someone listening can do now to become that active partner?
Okay, based on the sources, 5 key actions really stand out. First, be proactive about scholarships. Don't just wait for them to bring it up. Ask detailed questions. Demand a plan for maximizing financial aid, like Ahmed Khan did.
Okay, proactive on money. What else?
Second, a basic check. Use official university websites to double-check everything. Deadlines, course details, entry requirements. Verify what the agency tells you. It keeps everyone honest and stops you being steered wrongly because of commissions.
Smart. Third.
Ask for those practice visa interviews. It's a concrete service they should offer. It tests their preparation support and builds your confidence for the real thing. That interview is crucial.
Makes sense. Fourth.
This one's about avoiding stress later. Start planning accommodation at least 2 months before you travel. Don't wait for the visa. Good, affordable places in student cities go fast. Your consultant should be helping with this early on.
Good tip. And the last one. Simple, but vital. Keep digital copies of everything. Signed agreements, application forms submitted, key emails. Create your own archive. You're basically co-managing the project and ensuring you have proof of everything. Taking these steps shifts the power dynamic. You're informed, you're verifying, you're demanding accountability. #tag outro. So wrapping this up, our deep dive really shows Italy offering this compelling package. Quality education, serious affordability, and that amazing cultural backdrop. It's achievable, but navigating the admin hurdles requires smart, strategic help. Those low costs, the English programs, the prestige of places like Turin, Padua, Milan, it's a strong pull.
And the consultancy field itself is changing too. We're seeing more tech integration, AI for profiling, maybe digital verification to speed up documents that can streamline things, but it actually makes that human connection, that dedicated counselor who gets your goals, even more important. They're the anchor.
So the final takeaway for you, listening, maybe thinking about this Italian adventure.
Well, it's that success isn't about just handing everything over and hoping. The sources strongly suggest the students who thrive are the ones who see their consultant not as some magic key,
Right.
but more like a really detailed, accurate map, a map that they still need to actively read, double-check, and follow carefully. Your engagement, your proactivity in that partnership, that seems to be the real difference maker. Turning the ambition into actual acceptance and a successful experience.